Welcome to the Technests channel. If you are working on evaluation accounts, funded accounts, or both, you are in the right place. Around here, we focus on structured futures, trading on E-mini S and P500 futures, E-mini Nasdaq 100 futures, and gold futures. No hype, no drama, just a repeatable process. Today, I want to show you something most traders never really think about: the daily operations behind consistent automation. Because when people hear the name Technests, they usually jump straight to the big picture. They think about the vision of 1 million automated traders by the year 2030. They think about Dr. Markets and TradeRx. They think about inclusion, payouts, and getting through the prop firm challenge. All of that matters. But none of it happens without the part nobody posts about: daily operations, the routine, the checklist, the boring but powerful stuff that keeps accounts alive. Behind every payout and every past evaluation, there is a day-to-day engine running quietly. Systems get checked, rules get loaded, accounts get reviewed, trade plans get built, trades get executed, logs get saved. And yes, people get supported, because trading is tough when you feel like you are doing it alone. Technests is not just a product. It runs like a disciplined trading desk. And if you want consistent results, you have to start thinking like an operator, not a gambler. Here is the core idea that holds everything together. Consistency beats brilliance. That is true for the trader. That is true for the bots. That is true for the internal process behind the bots. We would rather have one clean day repeated many times than one heroic day followed by a blown account. So instead of reacting emotionally to every move or every rule change, the system leans on routines. A daily routine instead of improvising. A structure instead of gut instinct. And one clear outcome that everything serves: pass evaluations, secure payouts, scale accounts safely. Vision points the direction. Operations make it real. So what does a Technests day actually look like? It starts before the first serious move on the major futures markets. The goal is simple: do not trade in the dark. First, there is a market and calendar check. Before anything else, the United States futures landscape gets a quick review. Market sessions are confirmed. Chicago Mercantile Exchange hours are checked. Trading windows for the main instruments are validated. And then the big risk events are flagged. Consumer Price Index Report, Federal Open Market Committee Day, United States Jobs Report, major Federal Reserve speeches. Not because we are trying to predict the market, just because we refuse to pretend those events do not matter. This part is like looking at the weather before you go outside. You can still go outside. You just do not want to walk into a storm with no plan. Once the map is clear, the day moves into risk. Because in prop trading, risk is not a suggestion. Risk is a rulebook. So next comes the account balance and risk audit. Evaluation accounts get checked. Funded accounts get checked. Each one is compared against the limits that actually matter. Daily loss limits, trailing drawdowns, static drawdowns, balance to pass thresholds, balance to payout thresholds. And here is a big one. If an account is already close to a violation, it gets flagged. Sometimes it gets locked from trading for the day. That is not fear. That is professionalism. If an account is on the edge, the safest trade is often no trade. And the time to decide that is before the market gets fast. Not in the middle of a candle that is ripping in both directions. After the balances and risk come the rules. And configuration, refresh. This is the part where the system takes the rulebook and turns it into real boundaries. Daily rules files are loaded for evaluation profiles. Daily rules files are loaded for funded profiles. Event restrictions are applied to the schedule. Trade cutoff times are recalculated. A common approach is stopping new entries 40 minutes before the session closes. Allowed trading windows are mapped for each account type. Allowed trading windows are mapped for each instrument. So by the time the United States session opens, the battlefield is defined. The system knows when it can trade. The system knows when it must not trade. And the system knows which accounts are safe to operate and which ones need protection. This is not exciting, but it is the foundation under everything else. Now planning begins. This is where Dr. Markets goes to work. And I want to be really clear here. Dr. Markets is not trying to be a fortune teller. It is not built to guess where the market will go. It is built to design a trade plan that can survive real constraints. For each active account, Dr. Markets calculates the stop loss. That stop loss is based on account size. It is based on the rules. It is based on volatility. Then it sets the take profit to match targets while staying inside prop firm limits. Then it embeds event avoidance windows into the plan, so you do not end up trading right into restricted news. Then it allocates trade times with spacing across accounts. Because clustering trades in the same minute across many accounts is a bad idea for multiple reasons. And through all of it, overall risk stays inside drawdown thresholds. So the output is not a hot tip. It is not a thrilling signal. It is a constrained trade plan that is built to follow the rules. Respect the rulebook. Limit downside. Move the account toward pass or payout in a controlled way. Once those plans are ready, execution becomes an option. And this is where TradeRx shows up. When the market is live, TradeRx becomes the gatekeeper. It is not a fast scalper. It is not trying to be clever. TradeRx is an execution firewall between human emotion and prop firm rules. Before a trade goes in, TradeRx checks the balance. It verifies the trade is inside allowed time windows. It confirms no restricted event is active. It confirms no restricted event is too close. It enforces trade caps. For many accounts, that means one trade per day, unless the plan explicitly allows more. And it blocks new trades once daily loss caps or session limits are hit. While all of that is happening, it also logs everything: instrument and direction, entry time and exit time, balance before and balance after, profit or loss, risk used, distance to pass, distance to payout, and it leaves clear status notes that help traders stay grounded. Pass, hit max drawdown, may qualify for payout. Because execution is not about catching a perfect move. Execution is about getting to payouts without breaking the rulebook. Now, here is something people forget. Operations are not only code. A big part of the Technests daily engine is human-facing. Questions get answered in communities. Shared logs get reviewed. Dangerous patterns get flagged early. Traders get help understanding what pass means in practice. Traders get help understanding drawdown risk. Traders get help understanding payout readiness. And when someone hits a milestone, the group celebrates it. Because discipline is easier to keep when you are not doing it alone. Community is part of the operational stack, not an extra feature. Now let me make this feel real with 3 quick day snapshots. First, imagine an E-mini S&P 500 trader in Atlanta. They start the day by checking account status. The account is eligible and safe. They receive a plan from Dr. Markets before the cash open. They do not chase early noise. They let the plan do its job. TradeRx executes one predefined trade mid-morning. No overtrading. No impulse clicks. Later, the trader checks the execution log. No rule breaches. Risk usage stayed inside the plan. One clean trade, fully compliant. The routine feels almost boring. And that is the point. Next, imagine an E-mini Nasdaq 100 trader in London. They trade the United States session from their afternoon. The daily rules mark a jobs report as restricted. TradeRx blocks entries during the pre-release window, so the trader does not accidentally walk into a news spike. After the restriction window clears, the planned trade becomes eligible. One entry, one execution, a clean profit, and a big risk avoided. They did not need to outsmart the news. The daily operations simply refused to let them step into the danger zone. Third, imagine a gold trader in Manila. They run gold futures during Asia hours. Dr. Markets builds a plan with tighter stop-loss values for overnight conditions. TradeRx executes the scheduled trade later in the morning, local time. The trade closes within the rules. The profit is modest, but clean. And the account is still intact, still compliant, still progressing. Different cities, different time zones. Same loop. Prepare, plan, execute, log, review. Now come back to the bigger message. The mission of 1 million automated traders by the year 2030 sounds inspiring. But nobody gets there because of a slogan. They get there because the daily engine runs. Rules updated every day. Accounts checked every day. Event risk mapped every day. Plans built every day. Plans executed every day. Vision says automation will redefine prop trading. Operations say this account passed today. Operations say this funded account reached payouts safely this cycle. Without daily operations, the vision stays a poster on the wall. And for most traders, the hardest shift is mental. Many traders are used to chasing exciting setups, reacting to every move, forcing trades when bored, forcing trades when frustrated. Technests replaces that with a checklist. Automation that enforces limits when discipline slips. Logs that make performance measurable. Logs that make performance repeatable. In prop trading, boring is not the enemy. Boring is what pays. Let me answer a few common questions that come up. Is this too rigid? It is rigid where it needs to be. Rigid rules keep accounts alive. Flexibility belongs in research and strategy design, not in breaking rules mid-session. What if a perfect setup appears outside the plan? If it breaks rules or risk parameters, it gets ignored. One missed trade is cheaper than a reset fee. One missed trade is cheaper than a failed evaluation. Do you have to babysit bots all day? No, the point is the opposite. TradeRx handles execution, so traders can focus on review, learning, and improving the process. Can the system adjust when prop firms change rules? Yes. Rules files and configurations can be updated. Drawdown mechanics change. Event bands change. Payout structures change. Operations adapt. Is trading supposed to be exciting? Excitement is what ruins evaluation accounts. Stability is what gets payouts. If you want excitement, look at the results over time, not the minute-to-minute candles. So here's the bottom line. Technests runs on a simple operational loop. Accounts checked. Rules enforced. Plans generated. Trades executed. Logs reviewed. Communities supported. That loop gets repeated every day. And that repetition is what turns a vision into a real roadmap. If you want a practical takeaway, here it is. Your trading does not need more drama. It needs more operations. If you model your day on this flow, you stop trading on emotion. You start running a structured, scalable process. Prepare, plan, execute, log, review. With Dr. Markets generating trade plans and TradeRx enforcing execution, daily operations can shift from repeat resets to repeat payouts. Thanks for spending time with Technests today. If this felt calmer than the way you usually trade, that is a good sign. Structure removes drama. Structure protects accounts. Structure creates repeatable payouts. Come back tomorrow. We will keep breaking down the real operating system behind prop trading automation. One routine at a time. One rule at a time. One clean trade at a time. And if you want to explore the ecosystem, visit technest.ai.